Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about something that should really be part of basic fitness, but something that a lot of people don't always grasp, and that's the fact that in order to be truly fit, or to reach any long-term fitness goal, you probably need to incorporate both strength training and cardio. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And this is something that needs to be brought up even in strength circles, like strength sport circles. Because for a long time there was a lot of talk in the strength world that cardio is not a good idea. You really shouldn't do much cardio as a strength athlete. I used to buy into that when I first started YouTube. But over time, even my stance changed on that to the point to where I say that even power lifters, Olympic lifters, need to do cardio. Okay, they need to do cardio. There are health benefits and even recovery benefits to having good conditioning, even for people whose goals are just to be as strong as possible. All right, in terms of just overall recovery, health, everything else. And there's a synergy between the two. And what people need to understand when it comes to just general health and fitness, there are independent, unique benefits of both cardiovascular conditioning and strength training. All right, they have a synergistic effect when it comes to weight management, fat loss, things like that. There's a synergistic effect between the two. They both have independent positive effects on things like metabolic syndrome, diabetes, everything else, heart disease. All right, they are independent of each other, meaning each one carries its own health benefits, and they can't replace each other. That actually, when you combine the two together, it actually improves your health more than if you just did one or the other. All right, so for an overall health perspective, people need to understand that, because yes, weight training absolutely reduces cancer rates, pretty much accepted by the experts. There's plenty of data on it. Staves off osteoporosis, staves off diabetes. Like lifting weights vigorously at least twice a week with at least moderate intensity cuts your chances of getting diabetes by 70 to 80%. It cuts most cancers by 50%. And people say, well, how's that possible? I don't understand. Because it improves insulin sensitivity. It improves the way that your body manages insulin, because your muscle tissue becomes more sensitive to it. Your muscle tissue is one of the biggest parts of your body that uses insulin and blood sugar. And if it's more sensitive to insulin, your body simply produces less insulin as a result of eating food, carbs, sugars, everything else. Well, if you produce less insulin, all the things that people claim they're getting from doing ketogenic diets and everything else, you actually get from lifting weights. That actually is a bigger impact than even a ketogenic diet does. Meaning a sedentary person would get less benefit from the insulinogenic components of a ketogenic diet than someone who lifts weights and still eats lots of carbs does. The person who lifts weights vigorously and has a fair amount of muscle mass is still probably going to have lower circulating insulin while eating carbohydrates than a sedentary person does on a ketogenic diet. Lower circulating insulin levels due to it absolutely reduces diabetes rates, cancer rates, all of that. In the long term, that also, of course, affects cardiovascular disease. All right, weight training staves off osteoporosis, helps you keep your height longer, your hips and everything, to have less fractures, less bone breaks as you get older, because it improves bone density. All right, there's even a lot of health benefits there. Cardiovascular conditioning also has a separate independent effect on metabolism, metabolic syndrome, all of that. Right? It has its own independent health effects that literally are different from the weightlifting. So it also has the strongest effect on your cardiovascular system, meaning doing cardio has a better chance of reducing heart disease than weight training does. All right, they both have independent benefits on things like cancer, diabetes, all of that. So the person who does both cardio, and I'm not even being specific about strength training or cardio, we're talking about just general cardio. If someone walks briskly every day for 30 minutes, that's cardio. That's what I'm talking about. Now, people who do a lot more cardio can see certain other benefits, but that's enough to see those health benefits. You can lift weights twice a week, a full body workout twice a week for 30 minutes, and get all those benefits I just described. All right? And the person who does both actually gets overall better health benefits than a person who does very large amounts of just one or the other. In other words, a person who strength trains twice a week with moderate intensity and who does 30 minutes of low intensity cardio every day actually ends up with better overall health benefits than a person who lifts weights for an hour every day. better overall health benefits than a person who just does distance running and a lot of endurance work. The combination seems to have a synergistic effect on your overall health, right? And then that means that if you're really concerned with health and fitness, you need to do both. Both of them have their own independent health benefits. Now, as far as weight management goes, same thing, there's a synergistic effect. Weightlifting increases metabolism. It increases your resting metabolic rate, and it also increases your exercising metabolic rate. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn sleeping, the more calories you burn running, the more calories you burn doing everything. All right, weight training also helps you preserve muscle mass. If you're losing weight in a calorie deficit, if you're not resistance training, you lose muscle mass. It's usually the case. You lose some muscle. Well, if you're losing muscle, you're losing less fat. All right, it's very simple. If your body burns off a pound of your muscle tissue, that's the same energy it didn't take from your body fat stores. Your body has to build a pound of muscle tissue. It has to use even more calories. So you lose body fat even more quickly for someone who's strength training and trying to deal with weight management. But the resistance training increases your metabolism all the time, has a muscle preserving, muscle building impact, which again affects the nutrient partitioning, all this. It determines what you're actually losing when you're losing weight. Because again, it's one thing to lose 20 pounds, but if you lost 5 pounds of muscle out of your 20 pounds, which isn't uncommon for people who are losing weight, you only lost 15 pounds of fat for that whole 20 pounds you took off your body. If you gained 2 or 3 pounds of muscle, you lost 22 or 23 pounds of fat for the same amount of weight loss. All right, that's a dramatic difference. How much difference? 7 to 8 pounds of fat difference is an entire gallon. The weight training alone for the same amount of weight loss in that case for a lot of people is like a gallon of fat difference, right? That's massive. And that's probably consuming pretty similar amounts of food. To lose a whole extra gallon of fat while eating the same amount of food, for again, weight loss purposes, pretty serious. Now, the cardio itself is simply better for burning overall calories. You can burn a lot more calories doing cardio than you can burn lifting weights. It's easier to recover from. You can do it a lot longer. So the whole point there is for someone who's really serious about weight management, whether it's maintaining a body weight, whether it's losing body fat, whatever they're doing, the combination of the two is going to give you the best possible body composition, right? Because one of them simply is an easier tool for burning more energy. The other one is a better tool for determining where that energy comes from. And it's the combination that really works. If you're strength training and you're holding on to all your muscle, or in some cases even gaining a little bit of muscle, you're going to lose body fat at a more accelerated rate from everything that you do from your diet, your cardio, and everything else. Whereas in the cardio itself, it's just going to help you lose fat faster. It's going to let you eat more food while you continue to lose weight. It's going to help your, again, long term, your overall metabolism is going to be better from the combination. So anyone who's serious about weight management, who only strength trains or only does cardio, is really, really not taking it seriously. They're not doing everything that they could do. In fact, those fall into the category where people say, well, I tried everything. Well, did you lift weights and do cardio every week, both, regularly on a good program for a year straight while reducing your food intake? Bet you didn't try that for a year straight. You do that, any person's going to lose a large amount of body fat who's obese, right? Anybody will. That's the magic secret. Overall body composition. We could argue, well, just weight training is best for body composition, but is it? Cardio can improve your overall nutrient partitioning. It can enhance recovery from your training. So if you're doing enough cardio that you build capillary beds and better recovery and everything in your muscle tissue, it will allow you to train a little harder, a little more often. All right? Train a little harder, a little more often, and recover from it. Therefore, if you can grow faster because you can train a little more. All right? That's a definite benefit for your overall body composition, right? Better overall benefit for your strength. What about the food end? People who just want to gain muscle, if you do enough cardio that you're burning a few hundred extra calories a day, and that's a few hundred extra calories that you can consume, that's a larger anabolic benefit from the food. Food is anabolic. Even if you're burning through the calories, it still produces insulin, it still produces IGF-1 and everything in the muscle. Those calories are going to your muscle tissue. All right, you're improving your overall insulin sensitivity and everything else. If you're burning more calories because you're doing more activity and eating more food, your body's overall nutrient partitioning and anabolic hormonal response is going to be a little bit better. In the long term, that's going to allow you to gain more muscle. So for everyone's benefits, whether it's longevity, whether it's just getting big and strong, whether it's losing body fat or maintaining their body weight, the combination of weight training and cardio is actually beneficial. It's really what you should be doing. You should never just be doing one or the other for any of your fitness related goals. You really are shortchanging yourself if you're doing that. It's the combination of the two work really well together. When you get them working together, there can be a strong synergy between the two that'll really help you take every aspect of your fitness up another level. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.